everyone. My name is Eleni Sommerschield. I'm the Chief Operating Officer here at Wise Agent. And today I'm joined by Ryan DeAmaral, who is a broker owner at Twin Oaks Real Estate in Benicia, California. So welcome, Ryan.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, awesome. We're going to be talking today about how top brokers utilize a real estate CRM. So I've known Ryan now for probably a little over a year. We've, he's one of our power users, reached out to our support staff, and it kind of, every once in a while I go into the support channel and read some tickets and questions, and he had an interesting question, a suggestion, and I responded to him and we had a conversation, sparked some changes in Wise Agent, which were a big positive, and got a lot of positive feedback on that on our call list. And so that was attributed to Ryan. We do have, that happens quite a bit, where some of our power users are calling in saying, hey, if you just tweak this just a smidge, it'll help me out, and I'm sure it'll help out a lot of people. So if you're one of those people on right now and watching and saying, hey, if you make this small adjustment, it'll make things easy for me, let me know. Let us know here at Wise Agent, and we'll have a conversation and see if it works out for everybody. But we typically do that. So
yeah, efficiency is big in my business to do more sales. So yeah, little tiny things that can save 5 or 10 seconds, like per call, like it's priceless. So appreciate you guys implementing the suggestions I made.
Yeah.
And yeah, well, you said it's been a year. So I mean, I think it's been like 2 that we've known each other, but it felt like longer.
Yeah, I don't know. I have zero sense of time right now. I still, I just got back home from a business trip, my first business trip in 16 months. So I still feel like I'm on the airplane, which doesn't really happen to me very often. I'm like feeling a little jet lagged from a quick trip to Tahoe. So, but it was quite an adventure. So anyways, but yeah, we're, like you said, that efficiency, it's, what we did was, if those of you that are curious, we removed some extra clicks, and that's something that takes, shaves off seconds, which adds up to minutes and then hours if you're doing, long processes throughout the day. And so we did that, and that's something that we're going to be doing across the board through Wise Agent, is going through and making sure, optimizing that user experience to making sure that, you're not, I don't like clicking on things to find something. So if I'm not going to do it, I don't expect anybody else to do it either. So we're going to jump in. I know we've already started a conversation here, but a couple of things before we dive deep into how Ryan is using Wise Agent and how his team is utilizing this, the platform. I want to just remind everyone that this is being recorded. We're also on Facebook Live in our Wise Agent community. We have the chat area here where you're able to ask any questions or make comments here. But then we also have the Q&A section for you to ask any questions there as well. So, and before the webinar started, we'd already asked you guys to submit your questions here, and we have those, and we'll go over those towards, kind of mix it into the conversation here. So anyways, I'm excited. So Ryan, tell us a little bit about you, how you got started in the real estate business and as a broker and everything else. So tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, so licensed in 2017, and I was just a realtor here at Twin Oaks. And been into technology kind of my whole life, like probably an early adapter for my age, So I used a lot of technology to grow a personal business of mine, where I was like top producing agent in this area. Then I grew into a team, and then kind of transitioned in a broker. And then, CRM has been a huge part of my success in my business. I want to make sure everyone's serviced the same. I want to make sure things don't slip through the cracks. Along with that, like probably a little bit of a scatterbrained person in general. Don't have the best memory of names and talking with people. So I adapted CRM really early in my career, and some people do it late. So all the agents we bring on, it's like, hey, even if you feel like you don't need it at the moment, if you want to do high numbers and you want to do more and more, it's really important you get used to the mechanics of using it, because when you do use it every single day, it becomes second nature. It's like an extension to you. And yeah, I've been very successful using CRM and in my daily life and my career, and it's been very lucrative for me.
Yeah. Yeah. And I know one, one of the questions that we get a lot is, what does what will a CRM do for me? And it's, I mean, for me, I always tell people, listen, it's going to keep you organized. And like Ryan said, if you want to get and scale your business and get it to that next level, if you're not super organized and have processes in place, it's going to be a lot difficult it's going to be a lot more difficult if you don't have those processes and a system that can help you with that. And with Wise Agent, we have all of the searching that you could possibly even imagine for, searching for your contacts in there and organizing them in a manner that makes sense to you and also to your team. But then also using the platform for all of your marketing. And keeping track of notes. I know that's been a big thing for you guys. And you specifically, Ryan, use the CRM and use our call list. And I'm going to share my screen here in a second. You use the call list in a way that is a little bit more unique. That's not the way we had intended to be used, but that's okay. That's the beauty of Wise Agent, is that it can be used, however you really see fit. So I'm going to open up, I should be sharing my screen right now. I'm going to open up the call list. And if you want to walk us through how you use the call list for yourself and how you teach your agents how to use it, that'd be great.
Yeah, so I'm in the call list more than anything else. I do use calendar a lot too. So I usually have calendar open on one tab, call list open on the other. But yeah, this is like my grind. So just like you have reason for call and everybody build relationship, kind of seeing some examples you set out for me. Yeah. Everybody has, so every single person you have in your CRM should have a call set. That's a mentality I have. And that, whether that call is today, tomorrow, a week, a month, 3 months, 6 months away, that's how you ensure that no one slips through the cracks. Also, anytime I'm in my call list, I'm clicking on past due first. Want to make sure I didn't forget anything, or a lead came in the middle of the night last night. So first thing I'm doing when I get in the call list, making sure nothing's past due, and I'll do those first. Mm-hmm. And then I'm into today. So click on today again. And then I try to get in the habit. I mean, no one's perfect, but every single evening, this call list should be cleared. So I could go to bed like, hey, I did everything I had to do. No one slipped through the cracks. I didn't forget to meet somebody or forget to set another appointment.
So do you check it at like 5 o'clock at night, or do you check it like literally before you go to bed at night?
Yeah, it's when I was out in the field more, like in the trenches, I'd say, like being a buyer's agent, you get to it when you can get to it. So sometimes I'll look at it in the morning just to see how much I do, even plan my day around it. Mm-hmm. But yeah, a lot of it's getting finished at like 5 at night. Right when I even get home from the office, I'll kind of try to clear it out. But then there's, do not call hours. Like sometimes I'd be 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock at night trying to finish things off. But again, like super high producing at one point in my career, where it's not uncommon to have like 65 clients that I have to touch in one day. So not a lot of people are going to have that, and not a lot of people want to do that. But so yeah, a little bit about how I work that. So go ahead and click a call.
Yeah.
Yeah, so always starting from the top. Some of the leads that come in, we'll probably get into how we work leads through Wise Agent and how they come in through Wise Agent in a little bit. Yeah. But I usually jump to the very bottom of the call list, because new leads will pop up on the bottom and they won't have a reason set. So I usually, we want to hit those up right away. But once I'm done with those, I'll go to the top, just like you did. I'll click on call. This pops up here. So Bruce Wayne, let's just say I have no idea who this person is. I can't remember anything. Usually the first thing I'm going to do, click notes. Yeah. And I'm going to get a reminder of who this person is and what I need to do. So say it was a new lead. Yeah, I called them, I texted them yesterday, I got no answer. Anytime I make a touch, I'm going to make a note. So yeah, just going to notes and reminding me who this is if I can't remember right away, then yes, just like you did, going back to follow up. Let's say today the cadence is I'm going to call him. I call him, he doesn't pick up the phone. I'll send him a text message or an email. I'm going to put all that in the notes on the bottom.
Okay.
Yeah, whatever I did. So reminder to everybody out there, when you hit complete on the bottom of this, that note is going to get stored. I'm actually, remember, when you hit complete, it's also clearing the call. So I'm going to set another call. I go to next contact date and say it's a new lead and I haven't been in touch with them. I'm going to click on the 20th. I want to contact him tomorrow.
Okay.
And I'm going to put a reason for that. So under reason for call, I'll put day 5 cadence, just for example. So something I have to teach some agents often is a reason for contact does not get saved in the notes. The only reason why we write a reason for contact is we want it to pop up. So you see on the top right under his picture where it says build relationship, that's what's going to pop up in whatever you put for a reason for contact.
Mm-hmm.
That's kind of it. I'm keeping it super, super simple. If you want to next contact time or call type or assign to, if you have an ISA team or you're assigning it to somebody else, you can get pretty complex with this. If it's something really important, like, hey, I need to put his property on the MLS tomorrow morning first thing, I might click important on there because it'll pop to the very top of my call list. But that's it. So when I hit complete, it's going to log the note, it's going to say what I did that day, and it's going to push it off to the next task. Like I said, whether it's tomorrow, whether it's a month away. And yeah, doing that, I feel like no one's going to slip through the cracks. Everyone's going to be serviced to the highest level we can service them at.
Right. And right here, so if you don't, so if you call them, from your, office phone, your cell phone or whatever, you use our dialer or click to call, you can log those calls, but you can just really, like, with a click of a button here next to the email, if they have an email address, you can click this and just, it'll open up the, your email modal. So it can, the email will pop up and you can send them a message this way. One of the things that I always do, I don't know if you guys do this, Ryan, if you do this yourself, is I have a library of letters that I go through. I create a ton of letters, and then I can just say, like, so if this is, something I know I'm going to call for whatever the reason is, I will make, that letter, and I will just put that in here into, so with a click of a button, I can have that content there for myself.
We do that, yes. And also, I was a late adapter to doing that, and I almost regretted it. Like typing the whole email out, it's the same email. Like if it's a nurture lead or it's a high funnel lead, we're usually sending them an email maybe on day 1 and day 3, and it's the same exact thing. So in time, I made a template, and I could just insert important information, and I was a little slow to doing that. I wish I would have did it right away. So advice for all you guys out there, build those right away, and it's going to save you. That's a big time saving thing. This could save you a minute or 2 minutes from writing email, and all that counts.
Yeah. And then, it helps you with, you don't have to do, did I spell this right? Did I mistype everything? Did I, whatever it is, you don't have to think about it. It just makes the process go a lot faster and smoother. The other thing I wanted to point out here, I know you don't do this, but you can also select a time, to call them. So if you're on the phone, like I call Michael and then I've set up my follow-up and he says, hey, you know what? Could you call me back, on Monday at 2:00? Because right now I'm busy. I'll put it on my calendar for 2:00 on Monday. I can add this here, put the note in, and then when I save it, so I'm just going to say complete.
Also, that attach alert. If
Yeah,
I was doing that, I'd probably attach alert to it.
Yeah, you could attach an alert for sure. That's definitely another thing. But then also I'm going to go into the future. So right here, I have this add to planner. So if I put in a time, if there's no time, then it's grayed out. You can't add it. But if I click this, now it'll take it and adds it to my calendar. And so even if I have the alert, it's on my call list, it's on my calendar. Like, there's no way on God's green earth that I should miss that call on Monday at 2. So that's another way of kind of keeping things really organized. So then you get all of that set up beforehand. That's a really important thing to do. So is there, and I know, so you do, when you click on this green button here, it goes from one call to the next to the next. So you don't, that's one of the things, you know, that was a huge thing for you too, Ryan, was that it just goes save and complete pretty much. We just have complete there. So it saves everything. It marks it as a completed call and then takes you on to the next contact record. So you're not wasting any time like, wait, where was I in the list of things to do? It just really, you know, kind of keeps it there, you know, does everything for you and takes you to the next call. If you do want to skip, let's say I called Elon, he didn't answer, and I'm like, all right, I want to call him back. You know, it's still early in the morning. I could try calling him later. Maybe I only have, you know, 3 or 4 people to call. You can use the skip button to just mark it as like, there was no answer, I want to try again, and not mark it as completed for the day. You can totally do that. I don't know if you do that at all, Ryan, or not.
We were talking about the skip. Yeah. If it's something, I might have a task in there that someone pops up, but it's not something I can currently do. So it gets skipped and I leave it in my call list because it's something I probably have to do that day, just not at that very moment.
Yeah. And that's another way of doing it. So I don't know if you had anything else that you wanted to say on this. I was going to make mention of this dial button. I don't know. So this is probably not on everyone's account. We did just release, I think it was yesterday, we released our new built-in dialer into Wise Agent, and it's in our call list. So you could actually make a call from here with a click of a button, and it will, I don't know whose number that is. Maybe I should find that out before I click on the start button.
Is that
there
going to be through voice over IP, or are we going to have our own number in Wise Agent?
So it'll be through voice over IP, but you can set it where the caller ID is your phone number. So in the settings, when you set up the integration, you can go to your settings and put in what number. So if you want it coming from your cell phone number or you want it coming from your office number, you'll be able to set up what the caller ID looks like.
Very excited for that. We've kind of been waiting for that. That's something we're probably going to utilize with our ISAs, to where they can work a little more streamlined.
Yeah, and if you do the power dialer is what it's called, the 3 dialer, you can make up to 3 phone calls at one time. 2 of them, and let's say, you know, they answer, 2 would go to like that automated voicemail, and then the 1 person you'd be able to talk to. So that's how that would work, which is a really cool thing. So we're excited for this one to launch, and we'll have some stuff posted on our community and our Facebook page, you know, all the tutorials and everything else. So keep an eye on that, and we'll be sending out an email. One thing oh, go ahead. Were you gonna add something?
I was gonna say, the only other thing on that call list, you want me to touch on like inside team at all, or how we use that for ISA?
Well, yeah, and I didn't know if you wanted to talk about it through the lead rules, because I know you guys have a specific workflow on, you know, how it comes in from the time of the lead coming in. So if you want to talk about it from here, or from the call list.
So the way we have it set up is, I'm broker owner, but we do run our brokerage almost like a team, but you have to kind of draw the line somewhere. So what we do is, some people do work out of my account, our ISAs do. So there's, in the call list there, you might see my name or our other inside team members. Yeah, so I could see their calls and they can work through my account, but we have 60 agents total, and everyone has a Wise Agent account, and everyone else is set up on outside team. And we're really only using that for lead distribution, that and the notes. So we want to be able to send notes to them if an ISA did a handoff, and vice versa. We want to make sure they're doing notes. But yeah, something to note, we don't have access to the outside team members' call list. So that's why it's only used for lead distribution.
Yeah, so that would happen from the lead rules. So let me just take it a step back and go, because I think I'm seeing some questions here like, wait, what's outside team, inside team, what's all of that? So let me explain that for a minute here. with Wise Agent, the way it works is we have inside team members. So this is not Ryan's account, just so everyone's aware, like he doesn't really have Bruce Wayne in his account. So this is our demo account. So it's, Rachel would be the account holder, and then like the broker owner, and then, or the team lead. And then there's the ISAs in here, or, other broker, other, like maybe a buyer's agent or seller's agent or transaction coordinator, however you want to set it up. So it's really modular, and really we allow you guys to just use the platform, use the system as it works for your business, because everyone's business model is really quite unique. So that's how that would work. And you could give, so Rachel could give Monica permissions, or Phoebe and Chandler and Ross different permissions settings. So that's how that would work. And when you go in to your lead rules, you can set it up. So if you're getting leads from like your Facebook page, you can distribute them to those inside team members, right? So Monica, Phoebe, Chandler, and Ross. But then, and I'm going to keep this tab open here, I could also go to my outside team. So, and that would be so right here we have like Izzy Stevens and Heidi Hoot and Carol Brady and everybody else, right? And me. So these are people that have their own Wise Agent account. They have their own username and password, right? And for Rachel is not able to see anything in Izzy's account. So you're able to share content, you're able to share contacts, you're able to share checklist templates, you're able to share certain things. And what makes it nice too for the team leader, the broker owner, you're able to see reporting, you're able to share things. So that's why you see like Brandon, Izzy, Heidi, all these people in here. You could see I'm in here, Carol Brady, the list goes on and on. So now I can distribute those leads to, Carol Brady if I want to. And then I can do that through day of the week, zip code, and everything else. So that's how kind of Ryan does things in his account. So maybe if you're getting leads from your realtor.com account, I know those go to, a specific group of people. Leads from I know Brian also uses Ylopo. Those go to, and I don't know, I don't know, remember exactly your setup, but those could go to your inside sales agents to kind of keep those going to different groups. So yeah,
there's
they don't have to be the same.
There's a lot you can do with this here. It can be very powerful. We try to keep it kind of simple. I mean, it did take a lot of thought process for how we were going to structure it. But yeah, if it's some leads maybe going to an ISA, some leads maybe going directly to an agent. The only thing I want to add to this is click on basic.
Mm-hmm.
Something that's really important is, every time a lead comes in, they have to be put on our call list. That's like the only thing that is really required. We make sure it's on a yes, because that allows that lead it's impossible to slip through the cracks. If you're doing your call list, they're going to show up on past due, or they're going to show up on a call that day. And then a little bit of when it goes to an outside team member, they need to set up this rule too. So Wise Agent helps us with that. When they onboard an agent, they make sure the lead rules are set up the way we want them to be set up. And then a little more about the outside team member and why we do that. So it is important that the agents feel like we don't own their contacts, and we don't. So we don't have it like a team set up. And I hear some negative things about other brokerages, like, that's why people won't use the CRM. Like, they own my contacts and I'm like kind of sticky, I can't leave them. So that agent has their own account, they own their own contacts. We're just sharing information back and forth to make our life easier on both ends.
Yeah. And I mean, that's the beauty of it, is that you can still, from the perspective of a broker, that's one of your recruiting tactics is I'll give you leads, but furthermore, I'll share those to you. I'll share them in a system where I could help, and I can kind of help oversee, like, are you adding notes? I can help you really work those leads to the advantage of the agent. So then they close that deal, right? I mean, that's a huge recruiting tactic right there. I mean, that I know a lot of agents really appreciate, because this is something that most agents don't have. They don't have that CRM. They don't have that system in place yet.
Mm-hmm.
Awesome. So can you, so what is it that you do to get your agents to start using Wise Agent? What's kind of one of your tactics that you do?
That's a good question. Probably success stories more than anything else. Like people are join the brokerage are really interested in what I did, like how I did such high numbers. And I just explained it to them very transparently. It's like I use the CRM to the maximum potential. Not everyone wants to do what I did with the really high numbers, but if you want to, these are the tools to do it. And we provide them that tools. So a lot of brokerages run it like one or two ways. One of them, they run it like a tech company where they give you too much stuff. And it's like people get confused on that. It's like, do I need to use all this? And they're not out selling houses. They're learning how to use technology. And then the other way is they give you like a good split or something, but don't give you anything. So it's like, oh, figure out what works for you. So we're kind of like in the middle. I supply them technology that was really useful in my business and what made me successful. And I teach them an easy way to use it. And yeah.
Yeah. And so are you able to share any of your some of your success? Like, can you share like what, because right now you're kind of transitioning from, being an agent out in the field and in the trenches, like you said, to being more of just growing your brokerage, right? So can you share some of your success and how you've grown over the years?
Yeah. So, I mean, yeah, we could get in kind of number wise. So, licensed in 2017. I sold one house in 2017. And then 2018, I think it was 30, it kind of doubled. And so, 2020 was my best year, like as an agent. And I took over the brokerage in August of 2020. And I did 75 sales. And that's not with the team structure, that's by myself. I did have an assistant. So, being able to do that amount of transactions without building out a team and paying a bunch of people, it was CRM. It really was CRM, like just in it and grinding every single day. So now, yeah, I'm transitioning out of the sales role, kind of doing just listings now, but I have a goal of January 2022, no selling at all anymore. So it's better for the brokerage. I don't want to compete with the agents and I want to help them build their business and just say, yeah, transitioning my life in like general.
Yeah. Yeah, because that's also a good point that you bring up. It's having because you were, I mean, that's 75 properties that you sold closings in 1 year. That's a lot as a solo agent with just an admin, and even 30 was that's nothing to sneeze at. So one of the things is being able to have that kind of, I hate the term work-life balance because I feel like this just doesn't happen. I don't know anybody, and anybody that says that they have work-life balance is, there's going to be something that goes off. It's just like in the long run, if you can, because it can't be like day to day, you can't say like, oh, I'll spend 4 hours working and 4 hours with my kids or my family or doing what my hobbies are. It does have to, I don't think it can be that way, but definitely using a system and having something in place where then you could remove yourself from it because you have a system in place, and then put somebody else in that place, in that role, and you only take on whatever else that, whatever it is that you love doing, you take that on and somebody else takes over that other stuff that maybe you're not good at or you just don't want to do anymore. So one of the things I did want to share on Wise Agent was there's a question about the reporting as a team lead or as a broker that has like all these outside team members. What you get is you do get a lot of reporting. You do get reporting on this where you can see, you won't be able to see what your agent's contact list looks like. So you won't be able to see, oh, they added, Bob Smith and his phone number is this, or his email is that. But what you could see is, are they adding, appointments? Are they adding calls to their call list? Are they adding contacts? So you can have, are they logging into their CRM? You can see that. That's kind of an important one too. So then you can mentor them into and kind of compel them to start using it. So you can come in here and say, for their calendar appointments, for the last this past week, what did that look like? And I can pull that report and see, and then go over like, okay, well, you met 15 people this week, but you only scheduled one appointment. You only made one phone call, or, you didn't, what's happening here? It's great
I
to
hope my
add
sales
context.
manager is on this call. Well, we know about these tools, but we're not using them to their full potential. This is like some impressive stuff right here.
Yeah, I mean, I know like with the calls added, you've had a ton of calls that you've added, but you're not completing them. So what's happening? Why didn't you complete these calls? You want to make sure that there's some accountability there. That's a great way of being able to see. Oops, I think we had somebody join us inadvertently. But yeah, it's a great way of being able to kind of oversee what your team is doing or what your brokerage is doing. So then you're getting the most out of the CRM. So one of the things, Ryan, I know that we wanted to talk about too is, so do you actually, because I know we talked last week, so you actually train your agents how to go through and use the call list for everything, right? So do you actually do the training yourself?
No, we do have a sales manager, and we have a university too. So brand new agents are required to go through university. A lot of video. We have Wise Agent video, basic Wise Agent training, and then a fine tune on how to work the call list, on how to receive leads. So they should have a basic understanding. We want to make sure they go through the university properly. So when they're ready to start getting leads, they'll have a meeting with our sales manager, and our sales manager say, hey, show us how you get a lead, show us what you do in Wise Agent. And if they could pass that test, then they are put on leads right away. If not, they're personally trained again, or they go back. If they just didn't watch the video, we could tell they go back to the university.
Okay. Okay, that's really cool. And so, and if you're a broker or team lead out there and you don't have that, support system, that sales manager out there to help you with that, that's definitely something that you could leverage Wise Agent support for. And then the training videos that Ryan's talking about is we have these video tutorials here. If you click on the help drop down, and you can just come in here and, how to use the call list, or, whatever else. We have these videos are like 5 minutes or less. So you can definitely leverage that as well. And now, so how about your recruiting? Are you using Wise Agent for recruiting besides, offering Wise Agent to them? Do you use like the marketing drip campaigns or anything of that nature?
Not too much. I probably should be, but what I'm doing is I do have a new recruit. I put them in to the CRM, and I work them in a call list, just like I do a lead. It's like I'm stuck in that grind mode. But yeah, I do a lot of personal touches, which takes a lot of time. And so, yeah, I probably should be utilizing drip a tiny bit more.
Yeah, and so with our drip campaigns, I know that was one of the questions, like one of the questions that we got a lot before the webinar started was, how to use drip campaigns really effectively and efficiently. What I love about our drip campaigns, I'm going to just go to one that just has 2 touch here, just to give you an example, is, so we do offer a ton of programs for you. They're both written in English and in Spanish as well, if you need that. And what you can do is you can automatically set your drip campaigns to go out, and you can set it up where from the time that you start them on the program, and you can start them on the program like one of 2 ways. One would be the automated way, when a lead comes in automatically from your website or Facebook or whatever internet lead source that you're getting them from. You can start it from there, or you can go into your contact list and just add them to your marketing events, your marketing programs from here. So I can just select a whole group of people. I wouldn't suggest adding 500 people on one program on the same day, unless you have the team behind you to be able to respond to them, right? So you could come in here and say, I'm going to add them to this program, and I'm going to start it on this day of the week. And that's how that would work. And what our drip campaigns do is that you can set up to send out an email You can set it up to have a text message automatically sent out. So I can come in here and type a text message and say, hi, first name, and it fills in their first name for me. And then I can say whatever my message is, and then include either an image, a video, a bomb video, or just upload something from my computer. So that's really nice that you're able to add those features and that functionality in there. So that's something that you'd be able to do. So let's just say if I got a new listing and I want to send them a property flyer, I'm able to do that and just say, hey, check out this new listing, and I can send out a drip on this new listing. And then you can also do other things like setting up calls on the call list. So I can have a whole script. So if it's not going to be assigned to me, because I can assign this to somebody else, I can type out the script. So then when they make those calls, the script actually goes on the call list and they can see what they have to say, which is a really nice thing when you're like kind of in the flow of what your drip campaign is going to be like. Adding the script will really help put it all together. So that's how our marketing drip campaigns work. And I guess there's a couple of questions that I can show the programs that we have. So the programs that we have, our stock programs, are these here. So we have a 10 touch, 12 touch, and you can put these out. So if you have a 12 touch, you can set it up to go out, every day, every other day, or however often, whatever interval you want. Could even have them going out once a month. So it really just is flexible to you. And so you could even have one on recruiting. So we even have a recruiting campaign. Alrighty, some of the other questions is, Ryan, maybe this one is for you, is because I know that you also use the call list for your tasks. Is that correct?
Yes. Yeah, I don't think it was designed to work that way, but yeah, I don't train and I don't currently use task lists. So a call might pop up that says put a lockbox on a house. So and then I'm not clearing that call out until I complete it. Then I'll set something for the next day, like go on MLS. So like when I have listings, I have a call set for everybody, no matter what it is to do. I even might have in there like a meeting with client to show them the house, which is also great. Like this is powerful because I'll get home later that night and that call is still on my list. So it'll remind me to make notes. Like, oh, meeting went great. They want to see other houses tomorrow. I mean, not tomorrow. Let's say they want to see other houses on Saturday. So I set that appointment up for Saturday, and then I can create a call on Friday that says check in with them and confirm appointment for Saturday. Okay. That's the way I kind of use it.
Yeah, awesome. That's great. Because and that does, so with our checklist, so you can totally use it that way in the call list. You could even use it in your task list, but we also have our checklist here. And like I said earlier on today, is that you can use Wise Agent in a variety of ways. If that's how it works, that's how it works for Ryan to go through everything on the call list. We're happy with that. But you can come in here and set up a whole checklist. So if you have a listing presentation, or you've got buyers and you're taking them out, you can come in here and just kind of go through all of the buyers list based on the template that you have, and say check things off. So you can have a task in here, and it could be added even to your task list to say, I need to send them, this preliminary document, or I need to send them this or that or the other thing with disclosures. You can add those all to your task list. So then you can go in there, even from your mobile device, and check things off and say, yep, I did this, when you're out and about. That's really a great way of being really efficient, and it's getting that done. So that's another kind of tool if you want to use it that way.
Can you build those out and share them with outside team members?
Absolutely. So you can take your template and you can just create a new template, and put in here, so this is, I'll just name this demo for Ryan, and I'll say this is going to be a checklist. And I can come in here and put in what are my critical dates? So, is this going to be, for a listing or for whatever it is? And I can say this is required date that you have in here, and then go in here and put the form field. So maybe what's the MLS number? Then, I can put whatever it is that I want to put in there. And then your tasks, and add everything in here. So I can put in the task, like do this, and then say, you do this one day before or after the listing, you have to do this thing. And then I can save this. And then I can, the second thing is, do that. And this would be maybe, 15 days after the listing date. And I can have multiple critical dates. So if there's going to be maybe inspection due date, if that's something critical. So I can say 5 days before, do this and that. I could say 5 days before inspection is due, you have to do this and that. And then when I create this, so now I just will create a checklist based on that template. It will, I can assign it a contact and a property, I could name it, and then that will create this checklist. And I see a question here, are checklists and templates already built into the CRM? Absolutely, there are templates in there for you, and you can always have our staff help you with getting those added as well. So what I would do, and I would have to just put in, you can see right now, let me close some of my little tabs here. There's no due dates on anything because I haven't filled out this critical date. So if I say the critical date is the listing date, I believe today is the 19th, right? So let's say I fill this out with today's date being the 19th, it fills in the due date based on that template. So it'll calculate what's the 5 days before, the 5 days later, or whatever it is. So then for this one, I say, let's go into the future here. It'll set that up for me. And then as soon as I cross things off, it will even show me what my percentage completed is. And then of course I have all the unlimited document storage, my transaction notes. And then this is one of my favorite things. Obviously we have a ton of integrations, one being with like Zip Forms Plus, if you're using that, or SkySlope or DocuSign. We also integrate with .loop. But one of my favorite things is, because I do use our checklist quite a bit as well here internally, is sometimes, I have, everyone here has their own account, and I want to see, they're accountable to me. I want to see what they've been doing on a particular checklist. They can print it out and email or send me an email with the checklist things in there. And maybe they don't want me to see, I don't need to see what the MLS number is, and I don't need to see all the files that they've done, but I want to see their notes, and I want to see where they're at with their checklists. So then they can just, kind of click and hide whatever from the checklist for me, and then type in the message like, here is the checklist for that, and then send this out. And then this will go out. This will go out to to whoever. You can send this out to your agents, to your team lead. You can send this out to even your clients. And so then you can keep them in the loop. And this is what it would look like. So I love this feature. One of my favorites. All right. We've got a lot of questions coming in here, Ryan. So I didn't know if you wanted to maybe take on a question on let me see here. I left my glasses in my suitcase. So, and this font on my piece of paper is super tiny. So I'm going to struggle to read some of these things here. But one of the things is, question here is, how do you get the most effective way for marketing to your buyers and sellers? What's one of your tools that you, what's one of the things that you do?
Like for advertising a listing. Actually, I'll talk about like buyers. So
Yeah.
we do Mailchimp through you guys. So it's usually high funnel people that we put on like mailer lists just to see if they're gonna open them up and click through things. And there's reporting on that we could see, hey, this person clicked on a listing, and then we can reach out to them. So we have a category in Wise Agent, it's nurture. So anytime we feel that someone needs to be put on a mailing list, like I said, usually high funnel, so someone we don't think is just deserving of a call every single day, then we'll put them on, we'll type in nurture for the category, then we pull everyone from that particular category and import them into Mailchimp every month.
Okay. Okay, so, and then we do have that integration with Mailchimp, because you can send out, and Mailchimp is a great program. They have a lot of analytics for that, maybe a few more than what we have. We have open rate and deliverability rate and all of that. I think theirs is, where did they open up that email? And that could be important to you, because if you're sending it to me, let's say, and that I'm based in, Fountain Hills, Arizona, but you see that I've opened it and I'm in Orlando, which that's where I'm going to be on Monday. Then you might be like, okay, I'm going to expect a delay because clearly she's out of town. Maybe she's not replying to emails right now. So that's kind of the analytics that Mailchimp gives, which is great. But then you can also use Wise Agent for sending out emails as well. And we do have content that is available to you as well. So you can use some of our templates. Our marketing team does a great job of creating these infographics and different things that you can send out, even using these in conjunction with our landing pages and lead rules. So you can have these, use this as like a lead magnet. So you can post a landing page that says, are you looking to buy a house? Here are 6 steps to success, to successfully buying a home. And so what you can do is then create a landing page. So we have the templates here. We got to move some of this Zoom stuff around. So I can find that landing page, right? And I think I said 5 things. What is it? 6 things to success. So I can go ahead and create this, and I can edit this however I see fit. But let's say I'm like, hey, this looks perfect. I'm going to just post this out here into, Facebook, a Facebook group. And what I would do is just activate that landing page, and I can just click on this little Facebook icon. It'll have me log in, and then I can either post it to my own page, my business page, or whatever. And then what I would then do is set up the lead rules to get that content automatically. So as soon as the lead clicks on the submit button, I'd create a rule saying, whatever the source of that landing page would be, is in the response, they would get that particular information. Oops. So I could come in here and then just say, here are the 6 steps, and that would just go out in an email to them automatically. Okay, I see someone trying to raise their hand. I don't know who. Okay, so Ray, it looks like you've got a question, but I don't see any of your questions, Ray. I'm not sure if you're just trying out that feature or you have a question for us. Feel free to post it in the chat or in the Q&A section. I know I have a lot of questions here to answer, and we've got a limited time. So if I don't get to your questions, know that our team will be reaching out to you and replying with those answers. So I know there's a lot of questions I know that we might not get to.
There's a question on here that I think I can answer.
Sure,
and it's for me. How do you get agents to use it? A very, very good question. So showing them the value of using it is one way. And then there is a little bit of like auditing going on. We're checking. So like I said, everyone should have a call and everyone should have a note. So it's very easy to see if they have a note. We don't want to, especially like the ISAs, if there's no call set and there's no note set, I'm under the impression that the lead just hasn't been contacted. So it's very easy to do a quick like audit of that. It's like, hey, make sure the call is set and make sure there's a current note so we know what's going on with the lead. Yeah, so it's almost like forcing them to use it. How do you get the agents to use it? But yeah, I mean, and then just coaching them on the value of using it and getting them to use it early. It's harder to adapt in CRM when you're in the middle of your career. There's people in the office here that want to use it. It's like, oh, we have 1,000 contacts we have to put in, and it's like, oh yeah, it's a grind. You're gonna have to do it, but you're gonna make you better. I mean, it's very simple.
Yeah, I mean, that is a big thing too, is showing that value and then training too. And that's why we've made so many different training videos and options. So you can call us, you can email us, you can watch our videos, you could read our blogs, join these webinars that we try and do. I try and do this at least once a month now. So really it is about that education that makes a huge difference, because there's definitely a lot to learn, but you can pick out, just like Ryan has picked out, whatever works best for you, and then just pick one thing in the beginning and say, I'm going to perfect how call list works, or how my contacts are set up, or my transactions, or my marketing, and then start building on top of that. That's really the best way of learning any kind of software out there, is finding that one that you can really master, that one functionality or feature of it, and then build on top of it and incorporate. Because I know even after this webinar, like you're now going to be doing reports, right, Ryan, or your sales manager at least, looking through the reports, doing some of the marketing drip campaigns. There's things that you can do, the checklist. I know you asked about that. So really, it's really just taking that one and perfecting it, and then going on from there.
Yeah, that was a question, just is how do I get started? Just get started doing something.
Right.
Even if you're transitioning from Excel spreadsheet to like Wise Agent, you don't have to do everything at once. Do them both for a little amount of time to where it's second nature, working that call list, and then you can just push out the dinosaur method you were using before.
Yeah. So another question is, how do I get my notes on iPhone contacts and Wise Agent update each other? So the notes that you have, like that you put in your iPhone, I'm assuming that you mean like on your Google contacts, or do you mean on the app? I'm not really sure which one you're talking about, but we do sync our contacts through Google. And what's great about that is with that, and it's an automated sync. And so if you type in your notes, I know someone asked me this just the other day when I was at the RRC event in Tahoe. Really, you can just come in here and put it either through the Wise Agent app on your phone. So I have, boy, don't look at all my apps. I got a crazy amount of apps in here, but I just open up my Wise Agent, log in, and then I just go to that contact and I can type in my notes from there directly. If I want to just put them in like the address book on that's built onto my iPhone, I just make sure that it's synced to your Google account, that's then synced to your Wise Agent account, and those notes will come over in your extra details. So in Wise Agent, let me share my screen here again.
A suggestion for people that are syncing, I would suggest syncing. I didn't sync at first. The reason I did is because sometimes the lead would call me and the number would just pop up. And when it's directly related to the name, I'd be able to pull them up quicker and get to notes very fast if that's something I'd have to do. Like, this person's calling me and I have no idea who they are or anything. Then also a little more feedback on that. Some of our agents have done a sync and it kind of messed up their contacts and double their contacts in Google, like their calendar or their contact list. Don't be afraid to reach out to Wise Agent. They'll fix it for you in a snap. So you get all scared, like, oh, let me delete these contacts. Like, the support with Wise Agent is great. they're part of your team. So contact them, and they ran into every single problem that you've ran into already 100 times, and they'll fix it for you.
Yeah, that's awesome to hear you say that. Our support team is great. I mean, I use them, right? So if I have a question, they're there for me too. So this is what I was talking about with the extra details. So right here is where you would, when you type something in here and then I go to my contact on my phone, then I would see the notes in there. So that's how that would work as well. And the other thing about the call list I wanted to show in Wise Agent here is that you could even see the history of your call list in here and then your notes. Your notes is something that definitely everyone should be using. You can't possibly remember. I mean, even if you have, 100 contacts, shoot, even if you have 50 contacts in your database, you can't remember every single little detail. So you really need to be getting into the habit of, creating your note and adding a note in here at every single touch, no matter what you do. And one of the ways that we make it really easy for you is anytime that you open up your contact summary page for somebody, you can set the default to be like your notes and maybe your important dates or whatever it is that you want and need. It's fully customized to you, and then you can set it as the default. So then anytime if I go now to Robert Redford, it's going to open his contact summary page with whatever I said would be default, right? So I said it would be calls and then notes and important dates, right? So those are the three things that maybe I want to see every single time I go to a contact, and that's what will exactly show up on your contact summary page.
Calls, notes, and calendar for me.
Yeah.
Click all three and then make default and tell all the agents to do that too.
Yeah. And even the calendar, I know, Ryan and I talked last week, you had said, Ryan, that you use your calendar on your mobile phone. So you don't use your Google Calendar, even though it syncs, you use your Wise Agent calendar, right?
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
I have a hotkey set on the iPhone to where I just open Siri, I say calendar, my Wise Agent calendar pulls up right away.
Yeah. That's awesome, because I mean, you can have all of your team members in here, so you can see what your inside team is doing. And then if you don't want to see what they're doing, you can just uncheck it, right? If you don't want to see that, or you don't want to see particular things, then you can really customize Wise Agent to work to your advantage, and that's how it's always been, and will always be, just really as powerful as you need it to be and customized to you. So I know that we are running short on time, and there's still some questions in here. I know one of the questions here is, can you show the checklist again and show the zip forms? Okay, I will show you the checklist and the zip forms integration. So this, if you come in here and go to your checklist, there's a couple of ways of doing it. So you can do it from your checklist and just click on the little gear icon here, and it'll single sign you on to, so I can just manage this into zip forms. If I click on manage, it'll take me directly into my Zip Forms Plus account and go through, and I can see all the transaction information in here. The other thing that I can do is I can just grab all the files for a particular property or a particular checklist that's happening transaction. So I can just say click on files, and then I can save these here in Wise Agent. Of course, they'll also be in your files in your Zip Forms account, but they can also be saved into Wise Agent. And then with SkySlope, I saw a question about that. With SkySlope, you can write a listing, write an offer, you can send out for signature. So when you're writing a listing, you can put in your street address in here, and it will, fill everything in here, take you to, you can put in contact information, go on next, and then you can pick your forms from your state. So that's how that would work as well. All right, so I saw a few of those questions in there. If we didn't answer your questions, don't worry, we will get to you. Our support staff will reach out to you guys individually and answer those questions. So these questions don't get lost, and even the questions that you submitted before this. So thanks for those, and just kind of bear with us as we get to all of these questions here in a few minutes. Ryan, I do want to thank you for joining us and sharing your experience with Wise Agents and sharing your knowledge. So I appreciate that.
Thanks for having me.
Yeah.
Then anyone, I'm not Wise Agent technical support, but anyone that has questions about process or whatever, you want to have a little chat, send me an email or something, you can Google me and I'll pop up.
Yeah, and you're also in our Facebook community. I didn't tag you in that, but I will go back and tag you, or Sarah can do that in the group, and you guys can find Ryan from there and message him. I know that's a great way of networking too, and even referrals. So all sorts of things can happen in our community. So feel free to join that as well on Facebook, and I will see you guys. If anyone's going to be in Orlando for Florida Association of Realtors next week, I will be there. I'll be facilitating an RE bar camp there on Tuesday morning, and then the rest of my team is going to be joining at the expo on, I believe it's Wednesday and Thursday, maybe Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, I'm not sure when the expo is, so I'll be there next week. And then I will see, so if I don't see you in person in Florida, I will see you here on September 8th at noon Central Standard Time with Nick Jones from Structurally. We're going to be talking about our latest release of our AI chatbot, which we just launched a couple of weeks ago, I think it was. So that's going to be an exciting one, how to leverage that and how to put that in best practice in your CRM. So I'm excited for that one. That's going to be real fun, kind of technical, which I love that part too. So awesome. All right, guys. Thank you so much. Thanks again, Ryan. I appreciate your time today.
Thank you. I'll see you later.
All right. Thanks, everyone. Have a good afternoon. Bye-bye.